Hi everyone, Ms. Barber here for lesson 1.4 in Algebra 2, simplifying algebraic expressions. This is a pretty short note, so let's get going right with an example. So example 1, write an algebraic expression to represent each situation. The measure of the complement of an angle with a measure of W. So complement, this word is from geometry. You might not remember it, but it means two angles that add to 90 degrees. So to find out what the other angle is, if you know one angle is W, you would just subtract. So it's 90 minus W. That's the complement of an angle with measure W. Again, the two angles have to add to 90. Number 2, the number of eggs in D cartons that each hold 1 dozen eggs. Well, if each carton can hold 1 dozen eggs, a dozen is 12. So 12D, or 12 times D, should tell you the total number of eggs. Now for evaluating algebraic expressions. It's very important that whenever you are evaluating or solving or simplifying that you follow order of operations. So order of operations is here on the right. Parentheses is always first in grouping symbols. A grouping symbol that people kind of forget about sometimes is the division bar. So a division bar is also a grouping symbol. Then you do exponents, then multiplication and division, whichever occurs first from left to right, and then adding and subtracting, whatever occurs left from right. So here, we are going to substitute in the values they gave. So we're going to put in -2 for t. So wherever you see t, you're going to put in a -2, and wherever you see an s, you're going to put in a -3. So what I like to do is I like to rewrite the expression with no variables and just put parentheses wherever those variables are. So then that way I know I'm going to be substituting in values there. The first letter, T, we said T is -2, so I'll put -2 here. Then we have S squared. Well, S is -3, so I'll put in -3 here and -3 here. Order of operations says we have to do parentheses first. These parentheses are more of just placeholders. There's no math to do within these parentheses. So next we would have to do all of my exponents. Well, -3 in parentheses to the third power would be -27. So sorry, I'm going to write my work down here. So -3 squared, that's -27, so I'm going to keep that. And then there's -3 squared is +9. So I have -3, and then there's the +9 in parentheses that I simplified. And I can go ahead and multiply this 4 times -2. It doesn't really matter the order now. Everything is just multiplication. So I could do 4 times -2, and I have -8 out in front. The only thing I have to do before I can subtract all of these is just multiply 3 times 9 together. Well, 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to have -8 minus 27 minus 27. Subtracting all of that together, you get your final answer of -62. Pause the video, try number 4 on your own, substituting in 4 in for W and -1 in for P, and check your answer on the key. Let's pick up here at example 3. So example 3, we're going to simplify these algebraic expressions. So now there's variables that are going to be in our final answer when we simplify. So think of it as combining like terms. To start, I see I have parentheses that I need to get rid of. There's a negative in front of these parentheses, so that negative is going to be distributed to both things inside. So it's going to be -4r. Negative and a negative is going to become a positive, so a +3t. And then I can just rewrite the last two things, +6r minus t. Let's look at our like terms. I have a -4r and I have a 6r. Well, -4r and 6r, when I combine them, is going to be a 2r. So this is going to be equal to 2r. And then my other like terms are 3t and minus t. Well, 3t minus t will be 2t. So I can go ahead and write 2r plus 2t. And that'll be my final answer. So again, try number 6 on your own, pause the video, and then check your answer. Number 7, simplify each expression, then evaluate the expression for the given values of the variables. So first we're going to simplify, then we're going to substitute the numbers in. If you substituted the numbers in first before you simplify, you should get the exact same answer. So that's a way to actually check your answer. If you plug in a number before it's simplified, you should get the same answer if you plug in that number when it's simplified. So first, let's simplify. I have this -2 out in front that I need to distribute with multiplication to everything inside my parentheses. So when I do that, I'm going to get -2d. -2 times -3 will be positive 6c. And then I have my last two things, 4d and c. Again, I have to combine like terms. Well, I have a -2d and a positive 4d. So that's going to become 2d when I simplify. And then I have a 6c and a c. Those are my like terms. So I can combine those. 6c and c is 7c. So that's my simplified version. Now I just got to substitute in d for 0 and -2 in for c. So I'm going to do 2 parenthesis plus 7 parenthesis. Again, that's like how I like to organize it. And I know for d, I'm going to put in 0, and for c, I'm going to put in -2. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, so the first part of the expression becomes 0. 7 times -2 is -14. So that's your simplified version. Again, if you were to have substituted 0 in for d in my original problem, and -2 in for c in the original, you should also get -14. So you can pause the video, you can try that, and then try number 8. Again, check your answer against the key. Number 9, Marco delivers newspapers on the weekend. He delivers S newspapers on Saturday, so let's highlight that, that's probably important, and 4S newspapers on Sunday. He earns 15 cents. Again, that's important for each paper he delivers. Letter A, write an expression for the total amount of money Marco earns each weekend. Well, so each weekend, he first, on Saturday, he delivers S papers. On Sunday, he delivers 4 S papers. And he earns 15 for each paper. So the total papers he gets, which is S plus 4S, if I multiply that by 0.15, that'll give me my total amount of money he makes. Well, we can simplify this. S plus 4S would be 5S. So it doesn't really matter how you write it. I'm going to write the 0.15 in front though. So 0.15 times 5S gives you how much money he's going to earn for the weekend. Now, they want us to evaluate it for 50. So you're just going to plug 50 here in for S, or substitute it in. It's all multiplication, so you can just multiply it all together with your calculator. When you do, you're going to find out that he makes $37.50 for the whole weekend. And then letter C, write an expression for the amount of money Marco earns in a year. All right, well, so in a year, if he delivers every weekend, we have to think, well, how many weekends are there in a year? And we're going to take my expression that I had for one weekend and multiply it by how many weekends there are a year. Well, there are 52 weekends a year. So I can take this 0.15 times 5S and multiply it by 52. You can multiply out the 5 and the 52 if you would like. to simplify it a little bit further. So it's going to be 0.15 times 260s. And then that's how you can write your final expression. Number 10 is about a tank of water when it starts out full at 500 gallons and then 10 is released every minute. See if you can come up with an expression in letter A, and then how does that expression change when you're adding 2 gallons of water every minute? So go ahead, try that one, and again, check your answer against the key. Make sure your notes are all completed and